When it comes to getting gold, diamond, or even dark matter, there's one challenge in particular that people often struggle with, the Chameleon Camo challenge, which is to get 5 kills without dying 5 times with all kills coming from that weapon. So basically, 5 Bloodthirsty medals. And more specifically, getting these with the weaker weapons such as the pistols, the snipers, or even the shotguns can be extremely difficult for most players. For this video, I wanted to focus on one shotgun that I've received a lot of requests for, the Argus. This very well may be the most sketchy and inconsistent shotgun I've ever used in any Call of Duty game. I remember in Call of Duty Ghosts being able to effectively use each and every shotgun with no difficulty. I'd have no problems maintaining my KD ratio with all of them. In Black Ops 3, not so much. The Argus is clearly the most frustrating out of all of them. When it's hip-fired, be prepared for your blood pressure to go sky high. You can be within 5 feet of someone using the laser sight, hip-fire, only to receive a hit marker. This should never happen with a shotgun in close range. So using the Argus to hip-fire in point-blank clutch moments, where a shotgun should excel at, actually turns into one of the worst things in the game. So you may just say, well, don't hip-fire it then. Well, that's easier said than done. Sometimes you just don't have time to ADS and you have to react with a hip-fire. Just be warned that should you need to rely on the hip-fire, more often than not, you're as good as dead. Now granted, it does much better when you ADS, and that's the ideal way to use this weapon. You should always try to be aiming down sights when firing at an enemy, but even then, it seems to muck up from time to time. I noticed that sometimes when you ADS, there's a few frames where you don't actually get the ADS bonus. In its place, you'll receive the dreadful hip-fire accuracy. The Argus is best summed up in one word: inconsistent. When using a shotgun, you shouldn't have to creep around corners ADSing to get a Bloodthirsty medal. If it was meant to be a true slug shotgun, they should have just made it as such. Instead, it's amazing at ADSing, but nearly incapable of killing anything 5 feet away in hipfire. And this is most likely for balance purposes. So how does that quote go? When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. What a dumb quote. But it serves its purpose. The lemon in our case is the Argus. Lemons suggest sourness or difficulty in life. Lemonade, of course, suggests a sweet drink. Our lemonade? Rejack. Once upon a time, Rejack used to be one of the most powerful specialist abilities in the game. Or I should say, in the beta. Upon being revived out of Rejack, both your gun streak and your score streak were still maintained. So if you died 1 kill off your Hellstorm missile, for instance, got put into Rejack, popped out and killed someone, you'd then have your score streak maintained. This made getting higher up score streaks as well as gun streaks so much easier, which is why it was deemed way too powerful and nerfed into the ground. However, there's a little known tip that got left behind with this Rejack nerf. Rejack will still maintain your Bloodthirsty count, but that's it. It won't help you with anything higher than a 5 kill streak, nor will it maintain your actual score streaks. This only works for the Chameleon Camo challenges. The reason being is, you aren't actually rewarded with a Bloodthirsty medal. Let me just reiterate that with an example as proof. So in this clip, I'm 1 Bloodthirsty medal away from completing the Chameleon Camo for the Argus. After dying and respawning, I currently have 4 kills in this single life, making me 1 kill shy. I purposely walk up to this guy and let him kill me so I can test this Rejack theory. I use Rejack, emerge from the smoke, and I kill him. As you can see, there's no Bloodthirsty medal rewarded. However, you can clearly see I completed the Camo challenge. I had 4 kills, I died, I rejacked, I got another kill, and the Bloodthirsty Chameleon challenge was complete, despite not actually earning a Bloodthirsty medal. So using Rejack will definitely help those lesser skilled players out. Getting 5 kills in a row can be quite intimidating with the underpowered weapons. Getting 3 kills, surviving a Rejack, and getting 2 more is much more easier to accomplish. It's basically like a one-up mushroom. But we can make our lemonade even sweeter. Rejack is just one of the ingredients. You also need the proper game mode and the proper class setup. So let's quickly discuss both of these aspects. First, the game mode. As anyone who's ever used Rejack before should know, more often than not you'll die, get put into Rejack, and then get killed again instantly by someone camping their dick off on your green cloud of smoke. But there's one game mode where this happens a lot less, and that is free-for-all. The spawns of free-for-all are so chaotic that more often than not, players will turn around and run the other way if they down you into Rejack. And the reason is simple. You can't afford to camp a corpse who may or may not even rejack when you have other enemies spawning directly up your ass at any given moment. This makes our rejack bloodthirsty tactic that much easier. Now don't get me wrong, depending on the map size, you'll likely still get camped or killed instantly a few times, but it'll be a drastic decrease from team-based game modes. Don't forget that you don't have to rejack either. If you anticipate someone's camping your corpse and you're on a 3 or less kill streak, you could just let it time out and respawn normally. Yes, you'll lose your bloodthirsty streak, but you'll then only need to get a single kill to get rejack back, and that's thanks to all the buffs it received when you don't use it. Since you're going to be playing free-for-all, we need a free-for-all oriented class setup. For attachments, I highly recommend Quick Draw and Extended Mags. Now a lot of you may wonder why I'm not recommending Long Barrel, and it turns out, after extensive testing, Long Barrel does next to nothing for the Argus. Not only does it barely extend the range, but if you do land a shot on an enemy within the extended range, 9 times out of 10, it won't kill them in a single shot anymore. So what's the use of extended range when it turns it into a 2-shot kill? I'm not saying it's completely useless. For example, you could get lucky and pick off a wounded enemy from that little range increase, but it's generally not worth it. For perks, you absolutely need Dead Silence and Awareness in Tier 3. Due to the inconsistent nature of this gun, you'll benefit greatly if you're situationally aware of incoming enemies. Not to mention you'll be playing slow anyway since you have to creep around ADSing all the time, so you may as well sound whore as well. Playing without these 2 perks in free-for-all puts you at a huge disadvantage. In Tier 2, you'll need Fast Hands. The Fast Hands perk coupled with the Quick Draw attachment will grant you the fastest ADS time you can achieve, which also includes when you're snapping to ADS after sprinting. In Tier 1, I recommend Overclock. Free-for-all is tied with Team Deathmatch for having the fastest specialist ability recovery times in the entire game. Without Overclock, Rejack will recharge every 2 minutes and 55 seconds. With Overclock, it drops down to 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Like I mentioned earlier, if you get put into Rejack and decide not to use it, you'll only need 1 kill with the Overclock perk equipped to achieve the ability again. With the 2 remaining points, you have a few options. You could double up on a Tier 1 or a Tier 2 perk. And if you do that, I'd recommend either the 6th Sense perk in Tier 1 or Tracker in Tier 2. Either of these will help you be more aware in free-for-all. You could also add a 3rd attachment if you wanted. Most people might appreciate the stock attachment since you'll be ADSing most of the time as it is. Lastly, you could add a tactical grenade and an optic sight to help keep you on target. I much prefer that 3rd attachment myself, but to each their own. So using this setup in the free-for-all game mode with the Rejack specialist ability should help even the lesser skilled players achieve 5 bloodthirsty medals. Just remember, the Argus is as inconsistent as they get. You'll be much better off slowing down your gameplay, using your situational perks to their fullest extent, and definitely ADSing as opposed to hip firing. You can apply these same tactics to all the shotguns and pistols in this game. Now sniper rifles, they'll require a completely different class setup, but Rejack will still benefit you immensely in the same way. So when life gives you lemons, actually, I'll let my friend Cave Johnson tell you exactly what you can do with those lemons.
Alright, I've been thinking. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemon